Essentially, you can see that the 10 to 1 ratio compared to COBOL. That's quite a significant improvement. I mean, but mainly most of the except SQL, a few other things. I mean, maybe today when we have building websites and so forth, JavaScript and so forth, that's just where we find success. Most development team basically go back out to C, C++, and Java, Python, right? Because we really need something generic, because there are a lot more things to do. If you are doing very specialized thing like database or website, there are fourth generation language you can take advantage of. That will be major improvement in terms of your productivity. For instance, if you code a website in C, you could, but you know that's not going to be fun, right? Basically, you have to use C code to process all the HTML and all these good things and frame and display. And that will take you a long while, right? C++, yeah, you get some libraries which you can use. And Java, pretty much that's become the mainstream. JavaScript and Ruby on Rails, those kind of things, I mean, will actually help you build those things a lot faster, right? But if you're not building just websites, if you have a lot more things than websites, then you actually, for instance, for your full stack development, you can, I mean, mostly you're not going to be just limited to one single language. All right. So, and also, as you can imagine from SQL, you need a DB advance to use SQL. That basically is the software infrastructure you need to run those fourth generation language code. If you don't have them, guess what? You have to create them yourself. That's the difficulty really is in, say, I'm going to actually create a database query in C, purely in C, no SQL. Well, basically you have to write everything from ground up. That's, you lost the infrastructure of DBMS, then SQL interface. It's taking you a long time to do those C programs. Well, so there are certainly a lot of people using fourth generation language. For instance, we all pretty much use SQL. It's the biggest. I mean, we're not going to use C to program our website. We're probably going to use JavaScript or Java or other things. So essentially, we are using fourth generation language, but there's no dominant one single language which can take on like everything. Pretty much in fourth generation language, we are looking at specializations, right? A language that is specialized in certain things, which may actually happen to you. When you go to a particular company, they specialize in some certain type of application, or doing certain type of application, then you pretty much have to learn that fourth generation language like SQL. If you are the database-oriented team, or even non-NoSQL database, or you are building websites with JavaScript, right? You have to basically learn a new language. All right. So no one for fourth generation language dominating the software market. There are lots of specializations, right? There are many things that have a sizable user group, and also used to be this is before pre-internet. Oracle DB2 and Power Builder was really popular. This is actually how we make money in college by building applications for other people, right? So at that time, there's no internet yet, or not popular at least. So most of the things are still standalone, single applications. In that case, you actually use the Power Builders and Oracle and DB2 to create an application which have a database backend. So at that time, pretty much anything meaningful you would have to build on a database. Then you have to build on with a front end. Most of those things are either running on the same computer or running on your local network, right? In that case, I mean, for instance, this is a model for Oracle. Oracle is definitely not doing so well nowadays because they didn't catch the cloud trend fast enough. Didn't get on board until late. and they are getting late and late. During my time as a student, just in college, like you guys, pretty much what we do is essentially we're building applications for others to store their data and process their data. We will typically get a database either from Oracle or another company called Sybase. And later on, there's Microsoft SQL Server, or you have IBM DB2, and all these things we'll get a copy of this software, basically licensed software, put on one of their server or on their single computer. Then we'll use Power Builder or Oracle Application Builder or IBM Application Builder to build the front end. So this is no internet. Basically, it's a local network or single computer, right? Then we basically hard-coded the hookup between all these applications and server, very much like the chat app you guys are creating today, right? So essentially, your server, your database, you're gonna use SQL. I mean, if I want you to support SQL, then you're in trouble, right? So essentially, there you could actually basically that's the architecture we have been using for the early local applications, which are involving networking or not involving networking. Later on, when internet become popular, then okay, your server and your application don't have to be in the same place. That's actually changed a lot of things. And these things that's basically customized for building database for particular type of database are not popular anymore, right? Basically, a lot of things can actually go through websites or application on the phone or something like that. More of these things are actually built by Java or JavaScript and so forth, right? So basically, the core thing about fourth generation language is no fourth generation language has all the features you need, okay, to do everything in software industry. But pretty much, if you want to do it, I mean, any program that you are doing in the software industry pretty much can be built with, I mean, number one, machine code for sure. But the productivity is going to be very low. Can certainly be done by assembly code. The productivity is still quite low. Can certainly be done by C. I mean, the productivity actually reasonably good, but not as good as we want. Then you are branching into fourth generation language for specialized domain. For instance, you can build servers using Java or C++, or you can build your websites using JavaScript or Python or with HTML, right? All these things. So basically, you have specialization. Certainly, fourth generation languages are widely used, like SQL, right? Widely used, or even Ruby. I mean, JavaScript, right? So all these things, but they are not taking over the world per se. So there are no one dominative player. I mean, which say, oh, okay, just like C or C++ or Java, basically take over most of the industry. All right. The danger is you could have so-called end-user programming, which is a very interesting concept in the sense that basically end-user can program. But basically, your Android allows you to do that. Android opens up all these developer options. You can actually code into it yourself. You can build your own applications if you want to, right? Easily. Load that through the developer options. And that's why Apple is getting the lawsuits about their App Store, right? Android, nobody could sue Android because you actually have full control of your Android. You can open up your developer options and you load anything you like, right? You can, if you don't fund that in Android market, if somebody else, say your classmate has an application you want to use, yeah, by all means, you just copy over the software and you get it installed, right? Yeah, but whether you want to do it or not, that's out of debate. I mean, I don't know how many of you really want to install your classmate software on your computer, but hey, it's doable. But Apple, you can't, right? You wouldn't be able to pass the certification process. Then you have a lot of trouble. Then that's where Apple got this lawsuit, and people just say, hey, guess what? You are not allowing me to load any software I like onto this phone I already spend money on. That's what's going on. We'll see. At least the Supreme Court let the lawsuit to go ahead. Whether it will be decided against Apple or not eventually, nobody knows. But yesterday, the stock drop was so steep. Basically, they could have used the money to buy Tesla as a whole company, right? Just see this is a critical. Even this is a critical issue, right? So whether you allow user, right, to basically go into there to change their software, anything they like. So then, if they don't allow you to change the software, so when you buy that iPhone, did you actually buy that iPhone or you rent that iPhone, right? So that's up to debate, right? You can't even load any software that not through the App Store. That's one school of thought. All right. Management is of such project for fourth generation language is you got your staff trained in that language. Now, guess what? Your staff is quite specialized, right? If you switch to a different project which you don't require this expertise, guess what? You lost your training. Lost the time, investment, you put in the team to get this new expertise, right? That's the danger of, that's why if you, especially as programmer, if you find a good job fit, it's going to be easy. But for most of you guys who just graduate from college, knowing Java and Python would be give you the biggest pool of jobs available out there, because hey, most company would need those programmers knowing these languages, right? Not every company needs programmer who knows SQL. If you just know SQL, the number of jobs you can apply to actually shrink quite a bit. But hey, guess what? If you find a DBA job or something like that, or database programmer job, that could actually pay quite a bit. But you have to get those fitting positions. All right, so that's basically a quick discussion about what kind of languages we have. First generation would be machine code. They're always there, no matter what, but we are not directly using them. Second generation assembly code. If you're building, touching low-level devices, interfacing with low-level devices, any device that you put on your computer, you put on your phone. If you're the programmer responsible for driving those devices with drivers, okay, you are in the lucky category of using the second generation language called assembly. And after that, basically then we get into mainstream. That's what you guys are learning today. C, C++, and Java, and all these good things that pretty much get you ready for the job market. If you want to specialize, for instance, you really like databases, then you will be getting into learning a fourth generation language, for instance, SQL. Or if you're really into front-end development, highly likely you're going to use a website development language like Ruby or JavaScript, right? So these are the languages levels. The more you go, the more specialized into fourth generation. But if you stay on the third level, it's pretty generic. All right, so let's switch gear and talk about good programming practices. So these are just advice, okay? Programming advice, it's a highly debatable, right? Everybody has different ideas about what is a good program, what is not a good program, right? Some common things like, okay, you should use consistent and meaningful variable names. So don't just use A, B, C, D, E, or double A, double B, double C, or triple A, triple B, triple C, and then say, oh, okay. What's the downside of that? First of all, nobody else can understand your code. Second of all, in less than a month, you couldn't even understand your own code, right? So basically, that render the code not maintainable, not reusable, not useful at all. Okay? So that's why using meaningful and consistent name will actually not only help you, not only help others, but also yourself. Okay? We are pretty confident about our short-term memory, but the matter of fact, our memory sucks. Right? So you turn off for coding, it's even worse. Right? So you should basically form a habit of what would be the way you actually provide these names. Right? I mean, certainly if you join a group, I mean, highly likely they have a style. So then you have